We are back here with another speed rebuild here in Madden 25 franchise mode, and today we will be doing the Arizona Cardinals. And so if you're new around here and you don't know what a speed rebuild is, basically it's just a challenge where I only get 10 minutes to make as many trades as possible to try and build up this team and win a Super Bowl in just one season. And so today we will be doing the Arizona Cardinals thanks to a suggestion I got on a previous video. So currently the Cardinals are sitting at an 81 overall, 83 offense, 80 defense. Of course, this team has Marvin Harrison Jr., who I believe was like the 4th pick, if I'm not mistaken, in this last year's draft. It's been almost a year since then, which is kind of crazy to think about. Trey McBride's here, 91 overall, very good player. Paris Johnson Jr. is in here. Kyler Murray at quarterback, James Conner as well. So there is talent on this Cardinals offense. However, at an 83 overall, we're still quite a ways away from contending for a Super Bowl, so there's still plenty of moves that can be made on offense and defense as well. And for some reason, my thing is just like really slow. I don't know why, but that's just something I noticed. But defensive wise though, we are at an 80 overall, which is a little bit worse than the offense. But defensive wise though, we have Budda Baker, who is the highest rated player by a wide margin. Jalen Thompson is the second highest, and he's an 82, so it's an 11 overall point difference between Budda Baker and then Jalen Thompson. And then there's Garrett Williams at an 80, Sean Murphy Bunting 78, Zaven Collins 78 as well. But defensive wise though, I would say there's like 3 people that are like actually locked into their spots: Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson, and Garrett Williams. Even though Garrett Williams probably won't be the starting corner, he'll probably be cornerback number 2, maybe the slot corner by the time this 10-minute rebuild is done. But yeah, we're gonna have to go through a major defensive overhaul, because at an 80 overall, we're really carried by Budda Baker. If he was not here, if we had like an 85 overall strong safety, this defense would probably be like a 78, somewhere around there. So we are really gonna have to go through a defensive overhaul here if we do want to contend for a Super Bowl in this one season. Special teams wise though, we got Matt Prater. He's still at it. How old is Matt Prater? He's got to be like 41. He's just 40. Okay. So I was just off by 1 year. And then punter, is this Blake Gillikin? I think his name is. Yeah, that's right. We'll upgrade power. Why not? He needs an upgrade. So he'll be punting even better for us next season. Hopefully he doesn't have to punt a lot though. That would be ideal. But yeah, with that being said, I think we should just go ahead and jump right into this 10-minute rebuild. And so let's just see where our picks projected. So they're projected 16th. Which is interesting because I'm pretty sure the Cardinals did not pick 16th in the last draft. So, I mean, I guess that is like, I don't know if that's like broken or like if that's just like normal, but it gives the Titans pick 1. So maybe this is like updated, but like not really updated. Well, what does the Eagles show? Does it show 32 for the Eagles? 31. Okay, so it's like half broken, but like half not. I don't know. I guess that's interesting. It shows the Browns with number 2. What about the Giants? Does it show number 3 here? It does. Okay, so I guess some of the order is correct. I don't know if the Cardinals are picking 16th in real life. I only know like the top 5 because I don't really know ball. But yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. We're projected the 16th pick, so that's what we're going to have to work with here. Alright, so with all that being said, I think we should go ahead and get started here in 3, 2, 1. Okay, 10 minutes on the clock. So what I want to do first is we are going to trade Kyler Murray. Even though he is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league, we're not going to win a Super Bowl more than likely with a 79 overall quarterback. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go for Justin Herbert. And then Asante Samuel, we do need some corners. And Joey Bosa, he would be a huge improvement for our edge rushing group. So what we're going to do is we'll put Zaven Collins in this deal. And then Sean Murphy Bunting. So let's just see with this first rounder, how far is that? Okay, that's actually decently close. So maybe if I did 2 seconds, could I get away with just 1 first rounder? I'm not gonna be able to get away from that, or get away with that. But what if I took out Sean Murphy Bunting and then 3 seconds and a first? Does this deal go with? Okay, so yeah, we'll just throw in our 2027 first. And let's just see, how far does this get me? Okay, maybe I can do... Actually, we'll try a 3rd round pick and save the 2nd. Does this work? Okay, what if I did 2/3 actually? So I can save a 2nd round pick. Does this go through? Does not. Okay. So we'll try pick 48 from this upcoming draft. Does this work? Does not. Okay, we'll throw in the 3rd. Will this go through? Dude, you're joking. You're actually joking. Okay, what if I throw in, I guess maybe I'll try throwing in Sean Murphy Bunting and see, does this make the deal go? Dude, you're joking. Okay. Well, we're going to have to give up 2 seconds, which that's a lot of draft capital we're giving up here in this first trade, but we're making massive improvements. Yes, massive, like ninja, but I did not mean to do that. But yeah, we're 2 minutes off the clock, so we still need to make a lot of moves here, so we cannot be wasting any time. So I think next we do need a wide receiver, and then we do also need a tackle. So I think what we'll do is we're going to go to the Browns here and see if we can get Jerry Jeudy and Jack Conklin. Those would be 2 very good pickups. And then Delvin Tomlinson, because we do need some defensive linemen. So yeah, we need 3 defensive linemen for sure. So we'll throw Zay Jones in this deal and then see if maybe a third. Probably not, but yeah, that does not go through. So what about 2/3 and then 2 fourths, 2/3 and 2 fourths? Does this go through? Does not. Well, what if I take out this third and put in my third from this year, so there's a little more value? Dude, all of my draft picks are like red value. That's so frustrating. Like, there's like no value in any of my draft picks. So what if I did my 2027 second and then this year's third? It's very close to going through, but very close is not enough. So what about 2 fourths for this package? There we go. Jerry Jeudy, Jack Conklin, Delvin Tomlinson. Welcome to Arizona. Our second trade done here, and we have 6 minutes 30-ish seconds to go. So we're looking pretty decent. Still have a lot of moves to make. We can move Trey Benson. He should have pretty decent value. Greg Dortch, I don't think he'll have much value. We can move Kelvin Beachum. And then we could use a guard. I wouldn't focus on it, but we could definitely use a guard. And then another edge rusher, I would say. So yeah, we could definitely use another edge rusher. So I think what we'll do here is maybe go for a guy like Jonathan Grenard, and then Blake Cashman would be nice. And then Harrison Phillips, we could get him and then put him like at left end or something. That could work. So what if we did like Kaiser White here, and then we could take Kelvin Beachum out of the deal because they definitely don't need a left tackle. They have Christian Darrisaw, so we'll put Dennis Gardick in the deal. How far just without any draft picks? Yeah, it's not looking that far at all. So I do still have a first. I don't know if I want to give it up right now. Like, if I do, I want to see if I can get a pick in return. Like, could I get like maybe a third in return if I give up? They don't even have a third this year. Okay, what about next year? Does this go through? That's very close. Okay, what about a 2027 third round pick? Does this deal go through? I don't even think it goes through if I take out the third in general. Okay, let's just try 2026 fourth. Okay, well, does it even go through without any? You're actually joking. My draft picks have no value whatsoever. That's so insane. What about 2/5? Okay, there we go. Jonathan Grenard, Blake Cashman, and Harrison Phillips. New additions to this defense that will help out a lot. So, yeah, our defensive line, I would say we still need like one more piece, I would say, and then we should be good. So we can move Baron Browning. Chris Barnes, we can move him. And then Max Melton, I would say we could probably trade him. Actually, what we'll do, we'll see if we can flip Sean Murphy Bunting for like, I don't know, like an 82 or above corner. So like Greg Newsome, there's no way we get him. What about like a Teron Johnson? Let's just see, without anything, I might have overpaid there, but I don't know. Maybe the Bills wouldn't have accepted anything less. So I guess we'll never know. 4 minutes on the clock. We just added Teron Johnson, so that's pretty solid. So I would like to add another receiver. We can trade Michael Wilson to do that, and Kelvin Beachum, and Evan Brown. Actually, what I think I'll do first is see if we can get a higher overall left guard. Someone that's... What about a Tevin Jenkins? He's 83 overall. Maybe this goes through. Maybe not. Okay, what about anything, I would say like at least an 80 would be nice. I'll take anything. So Wyatt Teller, like what about a Joel Bitonio? Does this deal go through? It does not. Well, what about a Wyatt Teller, and then we'll throw in like, I don't know, a Greg Dortch, and then like Tristan Colon for Wyatt Teller. Wow, that's like the same as Joel Bitonio basically. So maybe this is not feasible. What if I throw in Roy Lopez for Wyatt Teller? Dude, you're joking. Okay, wow, okay. What about, oh, there's no way we get him. Like Will Fries, I mean, he's an improvement. Like Greg Dortch, Evan Brown. Whoa, okay, that's like no value whatsoever. Maybe I'm wasting too much time on this, but I mean, an improvement is like, we need an improvement. So what about Mekhi Becton? Okay, maybe let's just chalk that idea. Actually, let's toss it out the window altogether. So we could use an improvement at middle linebacker, and then we could use another corner. Actually, no, I'd say we're good at corner. So let's go to the Cowboys and see if we can get Eric Kendricks from them real quick, because he's like an 82 overall. That's the Dolphins, wrong team. Eric Kendricks. Will this deal go through? Does not. It's very close though. If I threw in like a sixth, this should go through. For Eric Kendricks, welcome to Arizona. So we got 2 minutes left. We do still have that 3rd round pick. I don't think we have 2. I think we only have 1 3rd rounder. So we'll have to move that here. Yeah, we just, oh no, we do have 2 thirds. Okay, so I was wrong. So yeah, maybe another wide receiver, possibly an improvement at guard, and then another defensive lineman. So I think what we'll do, we'll go to the Colts here and see if we can get like a Michael Pittman, and then maybe like a Grover Stewart, or not DeForest Buckner, a Grover Stewart. He would be nice if we could get to add him here. And then I don't know, there's really no one else we could trade for here. So we'll just see if we could get Michael Pittman and Grover Stewart. So we'll add Michael Wilson into this deal, and then we really have nothing to move for them. They need a left end, Philo Nichols. We could move him if I pronounce his name correctly. I hope I did. I usually get names wrong, but we'll ignore that if I did. So we'll throw in a 3rd. Does this deal go through? Okay, what about this 3rd, 4th? I mean, I might as well just offer everything I have. There's like 45 seconds left to go here. So we just need to get this deal done ASAP. So what about Kelvin Beachum for this deal to go through? You're kidding. Okay. I mean, do I just move Marvin Harrison here? Like, that probably is the play, just because it's a 1 overall difference, and it's a difference of getting the deal done and not getting the deal done. So does this go through? Okay. Well, we're going to move Marvin Harrison. I know a lot of Cardinals fans might not be happy, but this is just a 1 season thing, and we just want the best team possible for 1 season, not a future rebuild. So yeah, that's going to be my last deal. My timer's going to go off. I'm just going to stop it because it's 5:30 in the morning. I do not want my timer to blast. So yeah, that's the rebuild. You know, I did trade Marvin Harrison. I did not want to have to do that, but I really had no choice. But like I said, this is just a 1 season thing. So, you know, obviously if this was like a few season thing, would definitely not be doing that. But I had really no choice, had to do it. But yeah, I'm going to move a few positions around here, and then we'll check out what the roster is looking like. Alright, so this team is up to an 86 overall with an 87 offense and an 85 overall defense. So this team took a major improvement. I think we were like an 80 overall before, if I'm not mistaken. So up 6 overall points. I believe the offense was an 83. Offense is up 4, defense was an 80, so we're up 5 on the defense. So we made some major improvements on both sides of the ball. As you guys can see here, brought in Justin Herbert, Jerry Jeudy, Michael Pittman, Jack Conklin. Michael Pittman is pretty excited to be here. He has an upgrade. We'll give him physical. And another quick side note, I do use the Bengals playbook on offense for Sims just because that's pretty much the best one you can use. And normally I do use the default playbook of whatever team that I'm doing a rebuild for the defensive playbook. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to run a little experiment. What we're going to do is we're going to use the Steelers one, because apparently that's like a really good one for a 3-4. So we're just gonna run it as an experiment today, and then we'll see. Maybe it is like really good and I'll end up using it in future videos, or maybe it just sucks and I don't ever use it again. But I've heard that the Steelers one is a pretty good one to use for 3-4s. I mean, I guess it is possible the internet lied to me, which, you know, that very rarely ever happens, but I guess we'll find out firsthand in just a few minutes here. But yeah, we're gonna upgrade James Conner, get him up to an 85 overall. And with that being said, we will check out the 85 overall defense. So the defense got significantly better. Even though Harrison Phillips and Dalvin Tomlinson went down in overall, it's the same thing because it's like interior defensive line and they're defensive tackles. So it's like basically the same thing, which this is just another example of why EA needs to make like IDL, Edge, ILB, stuff like that. But I mean, if I wanted to rant about how bad Madden was, this would be like a 3-hour video. So we'll move on. Teron Johnson, he needs an upgrade. We'll get him up to an 85 overall, get him as a scheme fit as well. And Grover Stewart also needs an upgrade, so we'll also get him up to an 85 overall. But yeah, the new additions here on defense: Harrison Phillips, Grover Stewart, Dalvin Thompson, Teron Johnson, Asante Samuel Jr., Joey Bosa, Blake Cashman, Eric Kendricks, Jonathan Grenard. We have a lot of former Vikings here: Blake Cashman, Eric Kendricks, Jonathan Grenard, Dalvin Tomlinson, Harrison Phillips, and maybe Asante Samuel becomes a Viking within the next couple of weeks. I've heard there's some like speculation that he might sign after like the compensatory window or whatever it's called closes, so that it doesn't affect like next year's comp picks or something. I don't know, it's just speculation. Like I said, you know, the internet very rarely lies to me, and we're up to an 87 overall, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, like I was saying, the internet very rarely lies to me, so maybe within like the next month Asante Samuel Jr. is a Viking, so that's a possibility. And Tonga as well, he's also a former Viking, he's on this team as well. So yeah, there's a lot of Vikings alumni on this team. But yeah, overall this defense is looking very good. You know, the team would be even higher overall if Harrison Phillips and Dalvin Tomlinson didn't have to go down in overall. The defense would probably be like an 88 if Harrison Phillips and Dalvin Tomlinson overall didn't dip a little bit by getting their positions moved, but I mean, that's a topic for another day. So yeah, we're an 87 overall. We're going to see how well this team performs on the field, and we're going to sim through the season here. So before we do that, record prediction. So I feel like this team is going to win the NFC West. I think we'll probably go, I would say maybe like 12-5. Maybe that wins us the NFC West. You know, the 49ers do pretty good in Madden, so maybe we don't win the NFC West, but I see us getting a pretty good record though. So if we don't win the NFC West, we'll at least get the 5th seed. I could see that happening. But yeah, with that being said, if you guys would like, you guys can comment your record prediction if you want. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and sim through the season. So as the season simulation is slowly coming to an end, if you guys have enjoyed this, you guys can feel free to let me know in the comments which team you guys would like to see me do a speed rebuild of next. I do have a playlist of all the previous ones I've done up on my channel. I do also have a playlist of all the 2K ones that I've done if you guys want to go check those out. So we go 13-4. So we did win the NFC West 13-4. We just barely missed out on the 1 seed. The Eagles go 15-2, which is pretty typical for the Eagles in Madden. They are a very good Madden team, just like the Cowboys. So the Panthers win the NFC South, going 8-9. So literally every NFC West team would have won the NFC South. The Rams and Panthers would have had like a tiebreaker situation going on there, but more than likely every team in the NFC West would have won the NFC South, which is kind of crazy to think about. But regardless though, we made it to the playoffs going 13-4. Second best record in the NFC. Very solid. Just looking at our team ranks, 16th with points per game offensive wise. Wish that could have been a bit better. 6th with pass yards, 14th with rush yards, which that's actually pretty high for the Bengals playbook. Usually that's pretty low, but we'll take that. That's very solid nonetheless. We were 5th with defensive points per game, 3rd with defensive pass yards, and 16th with defensive rush yards. So the defensive rush yard stat, wish that could have been a little bit better, but I mean, nonetheless though, the defense was very good with this Steelers playbook. We had 2 top 5 stats, but I mean, points per game and pass yards are like the 2 most important ones. So I guess having 2 top 5s in that I would say is very good. That's definitely a lot better than having 16th with points per game. And just looking at stats, we had no one in any top 3. Ed Oliver leads the league in sacks though with 18. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's interesting. Josh Downs though was top 3 in receiving yards now that Michael Pittman's not on the team. But yeah, we did not have any top 3. Just out of curiosity, how did Justin Herbert do? 6th with pass yards, 8th with passing touchdowns, 12th with passer rating. So he might have been top 10 MVP. He probably didn't win it. He is 8th on the MVP list, but he did not win it. So it goes to Brock Purdy. What about Coach of the Year? I win Coach of the Year. If there was a GM of the Year award like in 2K, probably would have won that one as well. But the most important award is that Super Bowl Lombardi trophy. So that's what we're focused on here. We're taking on a division rival here, the Seattle Seahawks. We match up very well against them. The one thing they do very well, run the ball. We're not very good at stopping the run. We're literally in the middle of the league at stopping the run. But they're very good with their rushing attack led by Kenneth Walker. And of course they also got DK Metcalf and Devin Witherspoon out there as well in their top 3. So we'll see if we can take down our division rival here in the wild card round and advance. And we do 30-19. So we blow them out and we take on another division rival here, the San Francisco 49ers, who went 12-5. They got the 5th seed. And for once, the team rankings actually aren't bugged. It actually shows them week to week, because before, like a few months ago, well, not even a few months ago, it was like a month ago, it would show like the same ones back to back. So it's actually not bugged. We can actually see the real team rankings here. The 49ers, though, had a very good offense. You know, they were led by the MVP, of course, Brock Purdy. They also have George Kittle, Fred Warner, and Nick Bosa in their top 3. But yeah, averaging 32 points per game on offense is just ridiculous. That's actually insane. They had a nice 269 passing yard average, and they're 3rd in the league with rush yards with 115 a game. Defensive wise though, they're not looking that good, and they really struggle against the pass, and we are very good with the pass. So this is probably going to be a very high scoring game. I would imagine this will be probably an overtime game, but hopefully Justin Herbert is able to win that quarterback battle. This would probably be a very fun game to watch, like if this was a real life matchup. But just out of curiosity, I want to see what was this season like. How did we do against the 49ers this season? So we lost by 2 in our first matchup against them. What about, and we lost again by 13. So well, maybe the 49ers just have our number. But hopefully that changes here in the divisional round and we're able to get our first win against the 49ers, and we lose by 10 points. Man, that is very frustrating. We lose 3 times to the 49ers in just one season. Let's just see, do they go on to the Super Bowl? I mean, if Brock Purdy's having an MVP season, they probably do go on to the Super Bowl. Yeah, they take on the Ravens. It's a rematch of whatever that one Super Bowl was when the lights got turned off. Let's see, and the 49ers do end up winning. It's like flipped for some reason, and Harrison Smith retires. That's sad to see as a Vikings fan. But yeah, the 49ers win 35-31. They beat the Ravens. That would have been a good matchup if we got to take on the Ravens, but I mean, we had a pretty good season, but I mean, pretty good isn't great. A great season would have been us bringing home the Lombardi, but we did not get that job done. We fell just short. Well, not even just short. We were like a mile short of the finish line, but I mean, it is what it is. And with that being said, that is going to be the end of the Cardinals speed rebuild. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to let me know in the comments which team you guys would like to see me do next. The next video I make will probably be another episode of Giants franchise. I have not done that in a long time. It's been like a few months, so I was thinking I might as well jump back into that. That's kind of been on my mind, so I'll probably do that, and then I'll do another speeder build after that. So yeah, stay tuned for all of that. But yeah, if you watched all the way to the end of this video, thank you very much. I appreciate that. If you enjoyed, feel free to check out my other content. I do have Madden speeder builds, Madden fantasy draft challenges, and I also do have 2K speeder builds up on my channel as well if you want to go check those out. All of those things are in place up on my channel if you're interested. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all next time.